Hey everybody, so today's video is going to be about breastfeeding and as well as bottle feeding and starting solids and how to navigate those two things together. I know that a lot of people are concerned when they start offering solids that their baby isn't going to want to nurse as often and that they will see a decrease in their milk supply. And while this is true for some people, I'm going to give you a few pointers to make sure that this doesn't happen to you. So, like I've mentioned in all of the other videos, starting solids is just complementary. It's not necessarily meant to replace any sort of calories that breast milk or formula would offer your baby. It's not meant to fatten up your baby. It's a developmental step for babies. It's about, learning to coordinate, learning about food, learning about textures, skill building. So it's not meant to replace formula or breast milk. Okay, so the way to ensure that that doesn't happen is always offer the breast first or a bottle. So I typically wait about 1 hour after I nurse Ellis, and then I offer him solids. And then I wait another hour and I probably breastfeed him again. So it's always best to breastfeed on demand. That will keep your supply up and healthy. And just try to time it out a little bit so that baby has breast first or bottle first, and that way they won't fill up on solids. Hi, buddy. They won't fill up on solids and then refuse breast. And then, therefore, because we all know that the less you nurse, then there's a chance that your supply may decrease. So that's how you would get around that. At the end of this video, I will attach a graph that kind of shows how, breastfeeding kind of increases really quickly in those first 3 months, and then it starts to plateau a little bit, and then it stays plateaued for supply. And then there's also a line in this graph showing starting of solids and how the two are very parallel, meaning you're just adding solids complementary, and your breast milk supply should stay the same. And when I say breast milk supply, I'm also referring to you giving bottles of formula. It should stay the same. That should be the number one source of nutrition for your baby, or breast milk, and then solids. So you'll see on this graph that eventually they start to teeter away from each other, meaning that the supply of breast milk goes down a little bit and foods increase. That typically will happen after a year. So starting solids around 6 months, you shouldn't see a difference in your milk supply for at least until 6 months, until you reach that year point. Do you want more, buddy? No? Okay. Just 1 second. Hey, you must have much? Yeah, look. Oh, excuse me. I didn't say excuse me. Okay, so that is the best advice when it comes to nursing your little one and starting solids. Just offer breast first, offer breast often. I know that some people are always concerned about the idea that iron stores run out around 6 months. And it's not like the day your baby turns 6 months, they have no iron stores. Breast milk has very readily available iron, and it's just the magic of breast milk without getting into the exact science behind it. But it's very easily absorbed for our babies. And so while it's important to introduce, iron-rich foods, it's not a necessity to give them, that iron-fortified rice cereal. Unless obviously your doctor recommends it because of anemia or something like that. Okay, but breast first, bottle first, offer them first, foods second, to just practice eating. And if you do run into issues with supply, like if it just ends up being that way for you, then later on this month I'm going to do a post on, look at my hair, oh my gosh. Later on I'm going to do a post about, how to work around increasing your supply later on when your baby is older. And also sometimes when babies go through these stages where they refuse the breast altogether, and how to navigate that. So I'm going to give a few pointers surrounding that, and that may be helpful for you if, you know, starting solids, you notice that there is a decrease in your supply or a decrease in interest. Okay? I think that's all I wanted to mention. Just, again, remember that this is complimentary, and it really shouldn't affect your supply until much later when food becomes, you know, an equal source of nutrition at like around a year. But right now, the number one source of nutrition for them should be your breast milk or formula. Alrighty? So I think that's about it. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. You got a stinky poo-poo bum, don't you? You got a stinky poo-poo bum. Okay, so when your breastfed baby starts eating solids, their poop isn't that nice, tangy, not that stinky kind of smell. It actually turns kind of stinky. And the consistency will change. It won't be as runny, and the color may change. It won't be as yellow. It'll start to look like real poo. So Ellis does get some formula as a top up, just because he's so tiny and it became medically indicated at 4 months. But I'm just going to show you a little too much information here, but he pooped. Poo. Oh, don't grab your balls. There's some poo. That's some solid food eating poo. So during starting solids, people will notice a change in their baby's stools, which I just showed you a video of. If you do notice that your baby is becoming constipated, like truly constipated, then I would just highly recommend that you give your baby small amounts of water and high fibrous foods. You know, constipation isn't necessarily a reason to completely stop giving solids. I would just make sure that they're high fiber foods and water. Right, buddy? Just little bits of water. You don't want to replace any formula or breast milk with water, but just little sips of water will help get those bowels going. Thank you so much for watching my video. Remember to subscribe below and let me know, was this video helpful to you? Yes or no? Make sure you let me know in the comments if it was helpful, or if there's anything you would like to see on my page. Comment below and I will do my best to create some content for you. But again, remember, subscribe. That's how you'll keep up to date with everything I post.